was that at all intimidating when he first became your coach?
Yeah, I mean, it was really Boris and Stefan, Boris a little bit first, and then for a short while, then Stefan became my idol. I don't know why it happened, but I had a lot of friends around me as well who told me, like, Edberg's so great, he plays so nice, and all these things. And I started to watch him, closely, and, I liked the way he played and the way he behaved on court. I also had a one-handed backhand by then, so I could really sort of, I guess, relate to it some degree. And yeah, that's why, I guess, and then, yeah, and I think with idols or heroes, it's always intimidating for sort of forever, to either just like speak to them or see them or spend time with them. It's just not something you ever thought was going to happen. So when I called him, I expected, a negative answer clearly, and, doesn't need to do this in any way. So I'm, thrilled that he took the opportunity. I guess he sees it as a really big opportunity to help me and, get me to winning ways, and it's going really well. I'm very pleased how we're able to manage everything, because he hasn't followed the game very closely the last 15 years, but he's got a lot of experience as a player, and with the information that I have, that Severin, my coach, has, I think we really make a great team, and he really, I think, enjoys himself on the tour now.
Did you personally make the call to him?
Yeah, of course.
Roger, you played two great tournaments in Toronto and Cincinnati, but you played mainly at night. And then it seemed to me in the finals in Toronto, you played at daytime. Does it matter to you that you probably will play here night sessions as well, and then come the semifinals, come the finals, hopefully you have to play at daytime?
Yeah, I hope I have that problem, it's perfect that we're talking semis and finals already. It wasn't like that last year, so no, I'm happy that I did play some night and some day in the last 2 weeks, because especially in the European circuit, whether it be clay or grass, you don't usually play much at night, or hardly. So next thing you know is like you're going through a stretch where you never play at night, you never practice really at night. It's all day. So it was good for me to get through some night sessions in Toronto. The switch was tough for the finals, because I finished sometimes really late, So from that standpoint, it wasn't ideal, but I'm happy how I was able to back it up physically and mentally. The following week in Cincinnati, it was tough. I played a lot of tough three-setters, long matches, late matches, and now I feel like whatever, if it's day or night, you got to be able to manage both anyways. So I'm ready for both, and clearly I always like playing night sessions here, but then again, as long as I keep winning, it doesn't really matter.
Hey Roger, considering all the great battles you've had over the years with the top 5 players, are you at all disappointed when the top 5 player is not in the match, like Nadal this year?
I'm more disappointed for the fans, his fans, and the tournament. Who puts up a great event, and it's not necessarily dependent at an event like this on the one player, but it's more exciting with him. For us, the players, I think we see it. We hope he gets well and he feels better quickly and all these things, and he's back on tour soon. But at the same time, I think what stands out is the opportunity, to try to take advantage of him. The fact that he's not here. It's one less really difficult player to beat. Maybe he was not going to be in my section. Maybe I wouldn't have played him at all. Like, I have never played him here in the last 10 years anyways. So, it's just that the focus maybe is now more on you or on other players rather than him. And yeah, we the players don't wish injuries to anyone, so you just hope he recovers quickly.
Roger, what is the mental approach to a first-round match at a major?
It's not necessarily just the first round, it's just for the tournament. Managing the first sort of the preparation week with press, sponsors, practice, treatment, enough sleep, all that stuff. Just getting through it in a way that you're really eager to play the tournament and you don't want to get ahead of yourself. Really give the proper respect to your first-round opponent that he deserves, and the danger of not quite knowing the conditions yet, because you can't simulate a match situation in a practice. You can get used to the speeds of the courts, the way the ball flies, the wind, the humidity, all those things. But the tension you do feel on a match court is just totally different, and that can really either block you from playing great, or and sometimes it frees you up, and that's the unknown, and that's why that first round match is always crucial.
And what do you remember of this specific opponent, somebody you did play once before?
With Matosevic now,
Yes.
I think I've only played him once in Brisbane this year, and I played him very well on a similar court. So yeah, he's had some better wins now this year. He's really moved up the rankings. So clearly, I'm aware of that he can play some dangerous tennis, but at the same time, I feel it's in my racket, and I got to make sure he has got to work extremely hard, and that he knows that the finish line is really far away, and I'll try to keep it that way throughout the match.
You have had a pretty much injury-free career. You wouldn't say the same about Rafael Nadal. Is this only to be explained because of the different game styles, or do you see any other reason why he has so many injuries in this moment of his career?
I mean, I can't talk for him. I really don't know what he does, in terms of his fitness, in terms of his training when he's home in Mallorca, how much he trains, how little he trains. That it's I'd say 50%, next to the schedule, that what you play and how you play. So I feel like I've managed my career well, in the sense that I believe in rest in a huge way. Whenever I get a chance to rest, I do. Whenever I can go on vacation, I go. I don't want to keep on playing all the time and feel like I'm always doing something, because I think the body and mind, they need time to heal, especially if you have inflammations and so forth. And I'd rather skip a tournament here and there rather than missing 3 to 6 months, which has never happened to me. And that served me well, so I can't really comment on what Rafa did or is doing. I mean, everybody does it very differently, but clearly playing styles, I'm sure, has somewhat of an impact, I would think.
Hey, Roger.
Hey.
You've played your way through a lot of life changes that you've gone through. Novak is going through that right now. What would you say to him as he embarks on marriage and parenthood and tries to play his way through it?
Well, what do you want me to tell him?
What advice would you give him? You have been there.
Advice is different than just saying something, I mean, I would wish him well, that's it. Now if you want advice, then it's totally different. Then we can go into like this endless talk of how I did it, which worked and which didn't work. And I have spoken to him a little bit in the past, and it's normal, I think, when you're entering the whole family thing, that many people you talk to, all you talk about is babies and how to prepare for it mentally. And I think it's a very exciting time. So I think he must be quite excited about what's going to happen soon. And with the wedding and everything, I'm sure he's living, going through a great spell at the moment with winning Wimbledon on top of it. So things are great for him. But I think he's got to figure it out himself, really, because I don't know his wife very well. I don't know where he lives exactly. So I think that all has an impact, or they're going to travel or not. But the good thing is he sees with me, I do it with 4, so with 1 it should be a piece of cake. And I honestly, I wish him the best, and I'm sure I think it's wonderful that he chose to create a family and have kids with his wife.
Hey, Roger, good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you too.
I'm looking at the list of people speaking. Not one American man is on this roster today, and I would tell you the last decades, American men's tennis has not been much to write home, not bad for the business. But we have a local guy who's coming in this year, Noah Rubin, who won the juniors at Wimbledon. I'm just curious if there's been a buzz about him. I mean, he's only 17, but I'm just, is he really the next great American hope? Has there been a buzz the upper echelons of the ATP tour about him?
I wouldn't know. No, I haven't seen him play, so can't really tell you if he's the guy. I hope he is. I hope we're going to see great talent coming out of America, in the next years, because it's not just a big country and an important market, but it has the U.S. Open, and Americans love their tennis here. So it would be nice to have, top 10, top 5 potential Americans floating around. That'd be great.
Roger, you travel on tour throughout the year with your wife and kids. For a lot of the lower-ranked players who can't afford to do this, they're away from their wives, their families, 30 weeks out of the year. Have you ever thought about what your life on tour would be like if you had to travel alone?
Well, I maybe wouldn't have had kids then, until I would have retired. So it's as basic as that. Then you go down a different route. You just say, okay, well, I'll wait. You know, that's fine as long as the wife's happy to wait too. You know, and if not, then you gotta, going into having kids that you're not gonna be around them so much. So it's just another different mindset. Now I can imagine traveling sometimes alone without family and my wife, but I know it doesn't make me very happy. I know it doesn't make them very happy. So that's why we try to stick together and do it all at the same time. And it's great fun. I'm very happy I got this privilege to do it, because I know, like you say, not everybody can do it. So from that standpoint, I think it definitely has prolonged my playing career, no doubt about it.
Roger, 2 questions about Stan. You've been a mentor to him through the years. Can you just reflect on the success he's had quickly? And the second question is, you both play one-handed backhands. Can you talk it's so different, though. Can you talk a little bit about the difference in styles of that as well?
Of our backhands?
Please.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm so happy for Stan with the success he's had this year, particularly winning, the Australian Open. Still very happy for Monaco, but less happy because he beat me in the final. But nevertheless, I think it's wonderful that he entered, the top 3 of the world. Playing as well as he did in Australia, beating the players that he did was just phenomenal, And I've seen Stan rise up close. I've seen him take setbacks. I've seen him train hard. I've heard him train hard through my fitness coach who we share. And from that standpoint, it's great seeing someone who's put in so much effort being rewarded for it. And I really think he's gotten to a point where if he plays his absolute best, you're not sure as a top guy anymore if it's in your racket. And I think that's exactly what you want as a player. And I know it's not an easy thing to do for him or for anybody, and for us either. But I really am very impressed how far he's gotten now. And now it's just important that he manages the new situation well, all the expectations, and that he still keeps enjoying what he's doing, and he doesn't feel too much pressure of just having to reach semis and finals and all those things that are being asked for him from the press and so forth. So I think that's going to be the big challenge for him. And his backhand, I just think it's definitely more powerful than mine, and he finds unbelievable angle on the cross-court backhand. He can hit the backhand down the line quite easily too, and I must say he's really improved also his defensive skills with his slice, so he can use that very well. As well on the return, he does a really good job of getting a lot of balls back into play with his slice, and so I think that combination is really a tricky one for opponents, including myself.
Also towards the back.
You mentioned how maybe people are talking about you reaching the semifinals and finals in the way they weren't here a year ago. How different is your own confidence that you feel you can definitely get that far than maybe there's a little more doubt this time a year ago?
Well, I think last year I was trying to convince myself that I did have an opportunity, because I feel like once you've had success and once you know how to win majors or US Open for that matter, you can always do it again. And I believe it's the case, but you just need a lot more luck and the draw opening up, because I just kind of felt like it was always going to be hard for me beating top 5, top 10 players. And I felt like I had little margin against guys ranked just outside of the top 10 till number 30 in the world. So, and then the rest of the field, felt like I could manage it somehow, but the confidence was, going away quickly too, just because I was just not moving so well. I was scared to have another setback, and so it was just not as clear-cut and simple as it is this year. This year I played a lot of good matches, not just Toronto and Cincinnati, but really from the first week on. I've always played really nice tennis, and then you come into this US Open just knowing, you remember how it feels to win tournaments. You remember how and you get used to that. You almost forget how to lose to a point, and the confidence rises, and you're back to winning ways again, and everything seems so simple, And it's nice feeling that way, and I'm looking forward to this tournament because I really feel like I can play a great tournament, and I hope I can show that on the court this year.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Good to see you, Raj.
Yeah, of course.